Hi everyone and welcome to Service for the Community. I'm your host Matt Blow and today we have two members of the Optimist Club. We have Chandler and Joette. How's everyone doing today?
Oh, we're doing great.
Great.
Good. So Joette, you wanted to start things off. Tell us a little about what Optimist has going on with grants.
Well, the Optimist each year for the last 8 years has given grants to community organizations and groups who focus on the needs of kids. And this gives them some extra money to do some things that they want to do but maybe was not in their budget.
Sure.
So the grants are due on Monday, April 8th to P.O. Box, Clarkston Optimist, P.O. Box 891, Clarkston 48347. And they're not a long involved grant. Kind of tells you what you're going to do, how many kids are you going to impact, and what your budget is, very loosely. Sure. And the grants start on June 1st. We will tell the grantees by June 1st, and they can start their grant. It goes all the way till June 1st, 2020. So they have a year to do their project. Some of our past grants, we put money into a Depot Park Playground. That's a big one.
Oh, yeah.
And we've given to the schools in the Leader to Me training. We've given to Independence Township Parks for the spray park and also for their playground.
So it's not specifically tied to like a classroom thing.
No.
It's just anything that kind of benefits.
It has to benefit
students and
kids.
children.
Yes,
Sure.
Youth and children. That's our motto in Optimist,
Oh, yeah.
and that's where we spend our money. And so grants can be as large as 10, 20,000, or they can be as small as 250. Last year we bought beekeeping suits for the apiary.
Beekeeping, or I was like beekeeping or ladybug, some kind of
Well,
smaller
the high
grant.
school has a apiary club, which is beekeeping, and so they needed suits and I think some chips for their path to their
Everything
beekeepers.
I've seen on television has some kind of thing where they're pulling out.
Yeah.
Slabs
And
or
you
slabs,
have the headdress and all, and
Yep.
so
Yep.
you know, if you're going to use that with not too many high school kids have that.
Right, not a common thing in a high school's closet, probably.
But it helped that group, and they obviously can use them year after year for a while anyway. And so that was one of our, I wouldn't say most unusual, but kind of unique grants.
Sure.
I know, Chandler, you
I was trying to think of different grants, and I think there's so many out there, the big ones and small ones, and some people come up with some really creative ideas. I would, stress that in order to get a grant, it really should affect children and youth in the community. Sometimes we get grants for things that really don't apply to that, so we'd like to help out as much as we can, but we really want to stay focused on our purpose and our vision to bring out the best in kids.
We don't give grants to single families. We give them to groups. And just this morning, I had a call from youth assistants in Clarkston, and they're submitting a grant. And sometimes they don't have all the funds they need to provide activities for kids. And so this grant that they're putting forth is one that I'm not sure what it is, but
Sure.
it will be one that affects the kids in Clarkston. And we've given to them again. We've given to Oates. One of the big things we gave to last year was the Oakland County Park System archery course, which kids, it's for adults and kids, but primarily for youth, so that they can start to learn archery. And it's at Independence Oaks, and I don't know how many targets and things there are, but probably 10. And it was something they wanted to do because archery is becoming a big sport in the state and the nation. And I guess kids could learn to do archery to hunt, but they could also do it for a competition, I guess.
And it's college. I could say that word, college scholarships.
Yeah.
So a lot of colleges are having those sort of teams.
Archery, yeah. And we did a fishing derby with Oakland, the Independence Oaks before. So many things like that. That fishing derby was just a project of the Optimist, but I believe. But so all kinds of organizations are welcome to submit the grants. They're online at clarkstonoptimist.org. And I think it says Friday, April 8th, but I will go with the April 8th because that is the day.
Yeah.
So,
Is there a certain number of grants you give every year? Or it just kind of depends on who applies and how much money you guys have?
we look at the pot of money we have, and then we look at the grants, and then we kind of prioritize. And there's probably about 20 grants.
Sure.
So,
And
you know,
that's- I
15
think
to
it's one of my
20. Yeah.
favorite, yeah. I think there's 15 or 20 each year.
And
There's
Chandler's
some
not-
big ones and some little ones. It's my favorite part of being an optimist. One of the favorite things is, probably the favorite thing is all the great people that you get to meet. But the second favorite thing, I think, is grants. Giving money away to the community and kind of reading through them. I have to be honest, sometimes things get a little tense because we all have different priorities, but there's a lot of fair exchange back and forth. And
I'm sure when you have so many good causes, it's kind of tough
yeah, it's
to pick.
sometimes to pick.
Yeah.
It's
you know,
hard
which
and
one
difficult.
which one to go with.
We've
But it's so
given
much
to-
fun.
Yeah, we've given to public school, we've given to parochial school Everest, we've given to Clarkston schools, and individual teachers. You know, they just need to ask.
And it's fun to hand out money.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of kind of the topic of money, Chandler, you wanted to touch upon Optimist has a fundraiser coming up that's about trivia night.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So we have an annual trivia, an annual fundraiser every year. This year it's trivia night. So the last couple of years we've met at Deer Lake, and we have trivia contest with some prizes. But it's just a great time. There's a silent auction. There's an opportunity just to get together with people. There's a pay bar. Lots of laughing and joking, and it's just a great event. But we're still looking for scholars, people to be sponsors of the event. It's a great way to get publicity.
Sure.
Advertising and
Advertising.
auction items.
Yeah,
But
auction items.
Support the club, but also just to get the community together.
Yeah, and we really had a big talk about that recently, about, you know, why do we do this event? And part of it is flat out to raise money. In order to give money away and to do things in the community, you have to raise money to give money. And that was a big part of it. But also we want people to recognize how much fun it is to be an optimist and what a great opportunity it is to serve. One of the greatest gifts is to be able to give people gifts and be out there in the community. So come on out, it's a great time. Get a table, get 2 or 3 seats at a table, and be an awesome opportunity.
Yeah, you get a dinner. You
Yeah.
get a great dinner from Deer Lake, and you'll just meet a lot of interesting people. And if you go back on our website, I think, or Facebook, one or the other, you'll see some of the people have been there before, and it's everybody's got a smile on their face.
Well, are there different kinds of trivia? Like, do you got to assemble a team that would know like sports and pop culture, or is it kind of kept a secret until the
Well,
event
it's somewhat
itself?
of a secret, but it's a variety of things. We have an outside company come in and come up with the trivia questions. It's by the table, so the table gets to work together, and then they come up with their solution. They run them up to the front, and then usually 3 questions at a time,
Gotcha.
5 or 6 different rounds, and I think it's a lot of fun. We do current events and history and geography and all sorts of stuff.
Awesome. So when is the date of the event again?
It is Saturday, April 27th.
Saturday, April 27th. And if they're interested in getting more information, where can they go to get more information?
You know,
on
they could go to
trivia night?
clarkstonoptimist.org or check us out on Facebook.
Awesome.
There's info at clarkstonoptimist.org is our email, so that would be a
Yeah.
good place.
Perfect.
And it's interesting because the table is 8, and you get 2 people who just know the answer, but they're different answers.
Sure.
And then it's like, well, do I believe him or do I
Yeah.
believe him?
Yeah.
Or her, whatever.
Joette, you also want to talk about the oratorical contest that's coming up. Tell us a little bit about that.
This is a busy time for the Optimist because
Sounds like it.
that is April 9th.
Okay.
And we're actually this year going to hold it at the Clarkston Methodist Church. Students give a 5-minute talk, and on a topic that's on our website, and I can't speak to it exactly, so I'm not going to speak to it. But it's a 5-minute talk, and they're judged on their speaking skills and their content. And we have prizes, which are $200 for first place, $100 for second place, it's $50 for third. But the first place person will go on to an area contest, and then if he or she happens to win, they'll go on to the district or state contest, and that's a $2,500 scholarship. And there's really, I think it's probably there are 40 teams in Michigan. So the
Wow.
odds are pretty good sometimes if you're good. So you want to look on that. Then the district person or the state district person goes on to like a region in the United States, and that's another. I think that's another
$5,000.
$5,000, something like that. And if you go on to the international from there, there's $25,000 in scholarships. That's what the winner will get, plus the club. So if you're good, you know,
Sure.
it pays probably
Sure.
a whole year, I guess, and depending on where you're going. And it's just a 5-minute speech.
Yeah.
And
What's the age range of the people that can participate again?
6th through 12th grade.
6th through
They have
12th,
to be they have to be less than they have to have turned 18 after October 1st.
Okay.
And you know, there's posters at the junior high and the high school with it, and so I think, you know, there's applications, but you can also go on the website too. So we've had students. Well, we've done this for maybe all of our 33 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think that's it's an Optimist international activity.
Sure.
And we just had an essay contest that a student here at the high school, I think he's a sophomore, Andrew Demmer won. Junior, a sophomore, I'm not really sure. And you know, he also had a monetary prize similar to the oratorical. So that's another Optimist kind of international piece.
Awesome.
And I think it's great at bringing out the best in kids. It's a great place to practice. You know, a lot of people are going to go off to college and have to give speech, or, you know, one day have a career in politics or whatever. And it's just an awesome experience to be able to give a 5-minute speech in a friendly environment with friendly people, and it's an exciting event.
Public speaking is a very important skill because, like you said, almost whatever job you have is going to involve some level of public
Presentation.
speaking.
Even
never
if
know.
you
Some
even
level
if
of
you don't have a
presentation.
job and you're just a citizen and you want to speak before the township board or
Sure.
something like that,
Or somebody will try to get you on TV, and I don't understand
Who
that.
knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
They'll try to get you on community television.
true.
Well, as we wrap up, is there anything else you guys want to talk about? I think, Joette, you mentioned the 4th of July parade's kind of coming up.
Well,
as
it's,
we're
you know,
wrapping up.
this is March, but the 4th of July parade will be just right around the corner here, 3 months down the road, probably 3 months, 2 weeks, something like that. And the ClarkstonParade.org is our website, and I have to say the application isn't up because we haven't figured out the theme, but it will be up by the end of March.
Okay.
And so you want to, you know, if you want to put your antique vehicle out there, or you want to make a float for your organization, or have a walking group. They tell us 10,000 people. Now you always photograph it, so I don't know, but that's what the chamber always says. 10,000 people come to see that parade.
I mean, there's definitely some times
There's a
where
lot
it's
of people.
pretty packed. I have no idea the number, but
Yeah.
it can be a packed house sometimes.
Well, and one of the interesting things this year is Hawk Tool used to be at the Mills Mall in downtown Clarkston, which was the mill at one time. We're a mill town, and that was the mill. And then Henry Ford built a more substantial building, I guess is what I want to say. And he sold it to Mr. Hawk. Mr. Hawk, so Hawk Tool. So Hawk Tool built it's the 70th year, so I'm thinking it's the 50s that this happened, built these little kind of motor scooters, they're called pony cycles.
Wow.
And they were sold through Montgomery and Ward.
Oh, cool.
Except Montgomery and Ward did such a great job of selling them, Hawk Tool couldn't keep up. They were a tool and die, and they just couldn't keep up. So, but the grandson of Mr. Hawk is bringing back the pony cycles for the parade.
Wow.
And I think he'll have, I think 7 pony cycles. So it's just kind of interesting. They were, I don't know that these were built here in Clarkston, and it was in what we call the Mills Mall today, across from the mill pond. But it was a tool and die shop at one time, and that was their livelihood.
Sure. Very cool. Well, anything else as we're wrapping up here?
The only last thing I have is that, you know, we meet every Wednesday, 7:30 at Clarkston United Methodist Church. I work as a counselor in my day job, and come across lots and lots of people who talk about being bored or need to meet people, sense of loneliness. Now, it's a great group to come out. We do lots of fun things. So please come check us out on Wednesday mornings at 7:30 at Clarkston United Methodist Church.
And it's just a 1 hour meeting. You're not there. You're on your way at 8:30, and you'll also part of our meeting is a program, and so we learn about a lot of different things going on. Yesterday we learned Kids Standard magazine and what they're doing in Pontiac with kids on history of Pontiac. So it was fascinating, and so you can learn each week. You get about a 20 to 30 minute either program, or we honor kids in some way. I believe in the next couple of weeks we'll be doing student recognition, which is one student from each of our elementaries, middle school, high school, is being honored by the Optimist Club. So that's once a year we honor one child from each school. So
very cool, very cool. All right, folks, so that's all the time we have for this episode of Service for the Community, and we'll see you folks next time.